guys, it's Ty with Ty the Dog Guy on the daily. Beautiful morning here in Utah. And I wanted to talk about dog training commands. Because there's two big myths that I see with dog training commands. And I wanted to hopefully dispel those a little bit. So the first myth is that there's like better or worse commands. And I guess this can sometimes be kind of true, but in the sense that most people are talking about, it's usually not. So for example, we frequently get people that, they've got a German Shepherd and, they say, well, should I train them in German? I heard they learn better that way, if we give them German commands, or a Doberman or a Rottweiler or something like that, or even other breeds that don't come from Germany. But that's the one that we hear a lot is, should I train my dog in this different language? It's often German. And the answer is no, it doesn't matter if your dog came from there. In fact, I saw a dog trainer on Facebook the other day kind of joking because they had a client whose dog was from Russia. And they said, well, I don't think the dog's not listening to me because I don't speak Russian. And, everyone just kind of chuckled. But, at the same time, this is something that a lot of folks do think that, that the language makes a difference. And like I say, it doesn't. I've trained dogs in English, German, Czech, Spanish, French, Greek, what else? Russian. I've trained dogs in, 10 different languages over the years. And I can tell you, it doesn't matter what language that you train the dog in. And number two, and this goes against a lot of conventional wisdom, but a lot of folks say, oh, I'll be in a session sometimes with, let's say, a husband and a wife. And so the husband says down to the dog, for the dog to lie down, for example. And then the wife says lie down. And then, it's not infrequent that the husband says, hey, we've got to be on the exact same page. We've got to use the exact same word. Otherwise, the dog will never understand. And so the reality is dogs are smarter than that. They can learn 2 words for the same motion, for the same behavior. They can learn 10 words for the same behavior. And so if this guy's saying sit and that lady's saying sit down, it's not that big of a difference. Now, in a perfect world, sure, use the same command, but it's not that big of a deal if you're using one command, another person is using a different command. And for that matter, sometimes you could, like my dogs, as time goes on, my dogs always tend to understand down and go lie down, and some of them even pick up other languages because I'll be training dogs in other languages, and it just kind of transfers over a little bit. And so, like I say, even from one person, the dog can learn various commands. Because dogs are so much more about the physical, about, the other types of communication, and the verbal is just the kind of stuff that we like to use. And so anyways, what is very important is what goes with those commands. And that's where, if husband's doing this wrong and wife is doing it right, that's where there's a problem. Not necessarily that they might be using different words, but it's how they back up those words that's the key. Now, I think I've talked about this in other podcasts and vlogs and things like that, but what we always try to get across to our clients is what we call our obedience formula, which is we always give one free command, just there's no correction, there's no food, we just say it. And if the dog obeys, we reinforce with some positive praise, maybe some food. If the dog disobeys, we're not upset, we're just going to follow through. Now, follow through means one of a dozen different things. Follow through might be, just simply guide the dog with the leash because the dog's still learning. Follow through might be a bit of a leash correction or an e-collar correction because the dog does know it, but is willfully, kind of choosing not to do it. And so it's the follow through, though, that needs to be, what's the word I want to use? Uncompromising. In the sense that if you don't follow through on the commands that you're giving, it doesn't matter if you're using German, it doesn't matter if you're using the exact same terms as your spouse, it doesn't matter if your tone is perfect, if you're not backing up what you say and not following through, that's the problem with dog training commands. So, in summary, make up commands. Make up funny words. Make banana be equal sit. Make cucumber equal down. Make flower equal come. I mean, whatever you want. Don't get too hung up on that. But be uncompromisingly consistent when it comes to backing up what you say with your dog training commands.